Hello everyone. We all were expecting the RBI Grade B notification to be out in the month of April or May, and we were expecting the phase 1 to be conducted in June or July. But unfortunately or fortunately, the notification has been delayed, and the biggest problem which the candidates are facing right now is the current affairs, because we were targeting the examination in such a manner that we started our preparation for current affairs since January 2025. अब देखते ही देखते 6-7 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स हम ऑलरेडी कवर कर चुके हैं और अभी भी नोटिफिकेशन आउट नहीं हुई. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज what all months are really very important, keeping in mind the delayed notification. Second is, what should be the right strategy to revise the current affairs so that we can answer the questions in the examination. So in this particular video, I will be answering all these doubts, but some of the major doubts which I will be focusing upon is, the first thing is, delay in RBI notification results in anxiety and uncertainty among the candidates, among the aspirants. Many of the students, they have even started asking me कि sir notification आएगी भी या नहीं. Then my answer is, notification will surely come out. And not only RBI notification, we have already received the notification for PFRDA. We are expecting the notification for NABARD. The notification for IFSCA is also expected. Along with that, for sure, RBI की notification तो आएगी ही आएगी. There is no uncertainty that notification out ना हो, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. अब क्वेश्चन है कि सर ये जो एंजाइटी है, इसका क्या सॉल्यूशन है? एंजाइटी का सॉल्यूशन एक ही है कि the examination will surely come. Along with that, many other exams are lined up for you. You can prepare for these exams simultaneously along with RBI. If you ask me, NABARD के लिए प्रिपेयर करना, then you have to add ARD in your preparation, which is quite doable. But in case of PFRDA, you have to add on the commerce related subject knowledge if you want to clear this examination. And yes, the notification is out, and for the very first time, I would say, in comparison to 2022, in 2025, the notification is out, as well as the number of vacancies are pretty high. Now the point is कि सर आरबीआई की नोटिफिकेशन एक तरफ आ नहीं रही है और हमने स्टार्ट किया था करंट अफेयर्स को पढ़ना जनवरी 2025 से. अब हमारे जो करंट अफेयर्स हैं वो पाइल अप होते जा रहे हैं. वी आर गेटिंग अप सो मच ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स नाउ दैट वी हैव ऑलरेडी कंप्लीटेड 6 मंथ्स ऑफ द करंट अफेयर्स, और अभी भी एग्जामिनेशन आउट नहीं है या फिर नोटिफिकेशन आउट नहीं है. व्हाट शुड बी द सॉल्यूशन, हाउ वी शुड प्रोसीड in the upcoming days? Now the aspirants, they are feeling burnt out, they are feeling confused, as well as they are distracted, and many of you might have thought of leaving the preparation for the same examination. But don't worry, I will be answering each and every doubt of yours related to the current affairs. So the first point from where I'll start my discussion is, I'll discuss the real challenges which you are facing. The first challenge is, sir, how much to cover? Now I would like to answer this question right away. How much to cover? See, if we are preparing for the RBI Grade B examination, we must prepare keeping in mind that for phase 2 examination, current affairs of at least 6 months is really very important. At least 6 months is really very important. And if I talk about only and only for phase 1, then I can say that yes, at least 3 months of current affairs is going to work. Now you must be wondering कि सर ये डिफरेंस कैसे है? ये डिफरेंस के पीछे एक लॉजिक है, और वो लॉजिक मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस कर देता हूं. वो लॉजिक क्या है? सी, यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स which is common for phase 1 as well as phase 2. You are covering ESI current affairs. That means you are covering the current affairs through your PIB sessions. You are covering the current affairs through your PIB sessions. These two sessions, they are responsible, or they will be helpful not only in phase 1, they will help you in phase 2 as well. But the general current affairs, which is going to help you alone in phase 1 examination, for that you can target the 3 months of current affairs. That is going to be more than sufficient. मैं लिख देता हूं यहाँ पे, अगर आप phase 1 की बात कर रहे हैं तो phase 1 का मतलब मेरे दिमाग में जो थॉट है वो क्या, कि जो आप जनरल अवेयरनेस पढ़ रहे हैं. जनरल अवेयरनेस का मतलब MOUs, national news, international news, awards, sports news, or maybe defense news. Those news are appropriate if you are covering the last 3 months just before your examination. But if I talk about the ESI related current affairs, that is schemes, I talk about reports, I talk about indices, even I talk about the updates related to the Indian economy, then I talk about the finance current affairs. So in that particular case, at least 6 months of current affairs is really very important, which you need to cover. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि if we are expecting the examination to be held in the month of September, so at least you should cover the current affairs thoroughly from the month of March. So March, April, May, June, July, August. So this will complete 6 months, and this is appropriate, more than sufficient for your upcoming examination, which is expected to be held in the month of September. इसके साथ साथ एक और चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा, and the next point which I would like to add over here is, along with March till August current affairs, you need to cover the budget and economic survey, which were released in the January and February month, because these are again very important two publications of the government जहां से questions हर बार examination में पूछे जाते हैं. अब question है कि sir, what to revise? If you are preparing for this examination since January, then I would suggest you that you must revise again and again only and only current affairs after March, or from March month. You can leave January and February current affairs, but you cannot afford to leave the budget and economic survey wala part. Now, how to make retention stronger? That means how you can retain the content. I would suggest the only solution to retain the content is revision. And every time when you revise your previous month's current affairs through the PDFs, or maybe if you have made the handwritten notes, then you can revise through the PDFs of the handwritten notes. But the point over here is, whenever you are revising, do mark down the important points related to that particular news, related to that particular aspect which you are reading. One suggestion which I gave you in my previous session, that still you have ample of time if you are preparing for this examination since January 2025, you have completed your current affairs on regular basis. But if you haven't created your handwritten notes, then while revising the PDFs, you can create your handwritten notes, which will act as pretty handy source for you before the examination. Now, there is a fear among the candidates that if I'm not covering the January or February month, then I may miss out some of the important dates, or even while covering such a huge content related to the current affairs, I may miss some of the important aspects. The answer is yes, that is quite obvious. It's not possible for a human brain to retain the entire content, to retain so much of the current affairs from past 6 to 8 months. It's quite obvious that you are going to miss, you are going to lose, you are going to forget some of the aspects, some of the data, some of the facts. But that is how the examination work, because here you are not sitting in the examination to score 100 out of 100 or 200 out of 200 in your phase 1 or 100 out of 100 in your phase 2 exams, which is of 100 marks each. Here you are sitting to clear the cutoff, and for phase 1, as per the past few years analysis, the cutoff is even below 30% or even below 40% for sure in all the past years. And if I talk about the phase 2 cutoff, so the phase 2 cutoff is around 60% of the total examination marks. So in that particular case, it's quite obvious you won't be able to answer all the questions, and there's nothing to worry if you're not able to retain the content in a 100% manner. But there are some mistakes which you are making. I will be discussing those mistakes with you. First is, if you are reading the PDFs blindly without highlighting the important aspects, then it's quite obvious you won't be able to answer many of the questions. If you are relying only and only on the monthly or weekly compilations, and you are not going through with the daily sessions, you're not going through with the alternate day sessions, then it's going to be quite tough for you to understand the news and analyze the news. If you are watching too many YouTube sources, you will end up in a big confusion. You won't be able to decide कहाँ पढ़ूं, कैसे पढ़ूं, कितना पढ़ूं, किससे पढ़ूं. So it's better. अभी भी अगर आप confused हैं, if you are running behind 3-4 sources on YouTube, first you sit tight, go and watch same topic on different YouTube channels, and then decide which teacher you can connect with, and whomsoever you can connect with, just follow the one blindly without focusing on multiple sources at a time, because that's basically wastage of time which you are doing. Next is collecting the sources without categorizing them. You're not categorizing your sources. That means you have collected a report, but you're not categorized it whether it is important for ESI or finance examination. If you're not categorizing it, you won't be able to visualize it while writing or while answering the question in the examination. So categorization of the news and reading that news in that particular category, keeping the aspects of that category in mind, will help you a lot in order to connect the dots while writing the descriptive answer. So what you really need in order to clear this examination, you must define a current affairs timeline. Timeline as in that, as I decided for you, as I have covered it for you, that you must be covering the 6 months of current affairs for finance and ESI, but in case of general current affairs, you will be covering for 3 months. Along with that, you must decide that how many hours you are going to invest on daily basis. For example, if you decided that you will be investing 2 hours daily and 4 hours on the weekend to revise what you have studied, what you have ever studied in the entire week, that will be fair enough. Then you have to identify that these are the regulatory current affairs related to RBI, SEBI, IRDI, and these are the economic current affairs related to GDP growth aspects, related to different reports, indices which are presented. If you can, please create your smart handwritten notes if you don't have them handy, and try to link each and every current affairs with your ESI and FM in mind, which means whenever you are covering a current affairs news, you must try to analyze the weightage of this particular news, and on the basis of this weightage, do cover that news thoroughly, so that if a question is asked in a descriptive format, you should be able to answer it for sure. Now, I would again say handwritten notes are game changer. This is the right time where these handwritten notes are going to help you. Still, you have 2-3 months before the examination. You can still make the handwritten notes only while revising the content, and I have already created a video where you can check the hacks, that what are the methods, what are the areas you need to focus on while creating your handwritten notes. Last but not the least is, I would like to suggest you some timelines which are really very important. So you need to start your current affairs from March 2025, and you need to cover the current affairs 15 days before the एग्जामिनेशन, नॉट नोटिफिकेशन. बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते हैं कि अब नोटिफिकेशन आ गई, नोटिफिकेशन के आने का मतलब है कि एग्जामिनर ने एग्जाम बना दी है, सो नोटिफिकेशन के बाद वाली करंट अफेयर्स की न्यूज तो काम आएंगी नहीं. दैट इज रॉन्ग. चाहे आप IBPS के कोई एग्जाम देखें या फिर आप RBI ग्रेड बी, नाबार्ड कोई भी एग्जामिनेशन देखें, जो आपके क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं करंट अफेयर्स के, दे आर इवन आस्क्ड फ्यू डेज बिफोर द एग्जामिनेशन एज वेल. तो स्टिल आई हैव गिवन यू अ टाइमलाइन कि 15 दिन पहले एग्जाम से अगर आप करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ना बंद भी करेंगे तो भी चलेगा. यू नीड टू रिवाइज the content on weekly basis. You review the content on weekly basis, and then you consolidate your content on monthly basis and go through with your consolidated content rather than downloading the monthly PDFs from some of the different sources. अब होता क्या है कि हमने पूरे मंथ में सोर्स फॉलो की कोई और, फॉर एग्जाम्पल फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स यू आर फॉलोइंग टेस्ट बुक एट 5 PM ट्यूसडे, थर्सडे, सैटरडे, लेकिन मंथ के एंड में जाकर आपने किसी और सोर्स से 1 महीने का फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स का कंपाइलेशन डाउनलोड कर लिया विच इज ऑफ 200+ पेजेस. इट विल बी इम्पॉसिबल फॉर यू टू कवर. और वो भी वो चीज जो आपने ऑलरेडी पढ़ी है, लेकिन अब यू आर रीडिंग इट इन अ वेरी न्यू फॉर्मेट. दैट इज गोइंग टू बी रियली वेरी टफ. इट्स बेटर कि जहां से आपने पहले पूरा कंटेंट रिवाइज किया, उसी की कंपाइलेशन आप खुद बना लीजिए फ्रॉम द डेली PDFs, और उस कंपाइलेशन को मंथली लेवल पर फॉलो कीजिए. दैट इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और वो क्या होगा, यू आर ऑलरेडी फेमिलियर विद द कंटेंट, तो वो जल्दी रिवाइज भी होगा, जल्दी करेक्ट भी होगा. यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस क्विजेस एंड सेक्शनल टेस्ट ऑन रेगुलर बेसिस, स्पेशली फॉर द करंट अफेयर्स. आपके पास जो डेली बेसिस पे क्विजेस आते हैं on different sources, you can follow it for sure. Before I leave, I have certain tools which I would suggest you must follow. Obviously, if you are covering the current affairs, then RBI website, circulars, frequently asked questions, RBI bulletins, RBI speeches are very important. Then PIB is the most important source of content for your ESI examination. Along with that, the PRS and ministry websites which are important. If you are a candidate, you must be following the YouTube and Telegram content, but I would suggest you follow only 2 YouTube channels, follow only 2 Telegram content, क्योंकि अगर आप ज्यादा YouTube channels को follow करेंगे, you will be in a situation of confusion. ऐसा लगेगा end of the day कि कुछ भी नहीं आता, because you have read a lot but you haven't revised it, you haven't categorized it in an appropriate manner. So I always suggest कि don't rely only on one source. Along with my sessions or along with the test book, you must follow one more source, so that अगर कोई ऐसी न्यूज़ है जो हमने मिस की, you must have covered on this platform. कोई ऐसी न्यूज़ that platform has missed, you can cover on our platform. In this manner, you can cover your preparation, or you can complete your preparation in a holistic manner. Done, guys? So delay is not always comes up with a negative scenario. It comes up with a strategic advantage as well, because if the examination has delayed, you have got more time to revise your conceptual aspects. Don't hoard the content. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके पास सिर्फ आप कंटेंट को इकट्ठा करते जा रहे हैं, अच्छा उसका भी कंटेंट ले लो, इसका भी कंटेंट ले लो, और आपने कंटेंट लेकर पूरे का पूरा अपना लैपटॉप भर लिया with the PDFs, but you are not reading it. That is useless. So it's better कि आपके पास कंटेंट भले एक सोर्स का हो, एक वेबसाइट का हो, बट यू मस्ट फॉलो दैट कंटेंट थॉरली. यू मस्ट गो डीप, you must dive deep in order to understand that content, so that you can answer the examination. ये RBI का examination है बेटा, it's not any examination जहाँ पे questions बहुत ऊपर से पूछे जाएंगे. Here the questions are going to be asked from pretty in a, I would say, in a detailed manner. If you have not covered the concept, the news, the update in a detailed manner, you won't be able to answer the question in the examination. Last but not the least is, if you have the handwritten notes, it's fine. Otherwise, if you're following the PDFs, then go through with the PDFs or notes again and again, revise it again and again, and try to attempt as many mock tests, as many quizzes, as many sectional tests as you can, so that you are pretty ready for your result. अगर आपका result फाइनल, अगर आपका रिजल्ट मॉक टेस्ट में अच्छा आ रहा है, तो इट्स क्वाइट ऑब्वियस यू आर गोइंग टू परफॉर्म प्रीटी वेल इन योर फाइनल एग्जामिनेशन एज वेल. Is it fine, guys? So that will be all from my side. If you want to prepare for exams like RBI Grade B, PFRD, or any other examination, then you must subscribe our YouTube channel, and even I have shared the phone number below. You can call us on this phone number if you have any query related to the test book offerings. Thank you so much for joining. We'll catch you in the next session. Bye bye. Good luck. Take care.